What is up, Bodyweight exercise fans? Today is part 3 of why people stop gaining muscle and making progress with calisthenics. In part 1, we covered muscle tension, or as I like to say, mind to muscle connection. Along the way, I also made some tutorials on how to increase muscle tension in basic calisthenic exercises. In part 2, we talked about training volume, how not getting enough or getting too much of it can be also harmful. And in today's video, we'll be covering the third reason, being training variation. Now, I'll include links of all the previous stuff in the top comment below and the description of this video, but right now, let's dive right into today's topic. Now, first of all, let's define what does training variation mean. In today's video, at least, by training variation, we mean how many exercises you want to include per workout and during your weekly training volume. Now, both too little and too much training variation can be a problem as well. Usually the latter being the most common trap I see people falling. Typically what happens is that, and I see this especially with beginners, when they first get started, they're really motivated, they're really excited, and they feel that they're always gonna wake up this way, so they try to stuff their workouts with as many exercises as possible, especially flashy stuff that they might see on Instagram or wherever else on social media. But what ends up in the long run is that you start to have days that you don't wake up feeling super motivated, feeling as if you're playing in a movie trailer workout scene. And when that starts to happen, when you'll have some days that you don't have the same energy, the same excitement, you begin to feel a bit overwhelmed. Your workout routine seems bigger than it was in the beginning. Maybe you won't be some days, in a good mood as well. So you start failing at covering all the list of exercises that you wanted to include in your daily or weekly routine. And that's when you start skipping workouts, when you start basically feeling that you need change pretty often. Very often people will mask their overwhelmness with the need for more novelty, so for more new exercises or a new workout plan. And the truth is that the reason you're failing with your workout routine is not that you need something new. It's because you didn't give your workout routine enough time to settle in, basically the habit of working out to settle in, and you try to do too much in the beginning. So instead, if you focus on the essentials from the very first day, and you stick to that, you stick to a more minimal workout routine for at least 6 weeks before you start considering adding something new. Usually that works a lot better. That's if you focus on doing less but more essential stuff, that's more doable in the long run, and that's what allows you to build a more solid habit. Now, it is of course good to try different stuff. It is healthy to be skeptical and try different workout routines and programs to see what works best for you. But you also want to keep in mind that you can't make progress in the long run if you're constantly switching exercises around, if you're hopping from one workout routine to the other. At best, that will produce some beginner gains, or maybe maximum, it will help you progress to initial stages of being an intermediate. But if you want to get as close as possible to your genetic potential, you want to commit to a serious workout routine that has a more long-term aspect to it. You want to focus on consistency and commitment to the essentials. Exercises that will always be the jeans and t-shirts of exercise fashion, let's call it like that. Pull-ups, push-ups, dips, plyometrics, sprints, exercises that have always been effective at producing results. These are the exercises you want to focus on, not what looks fancy on your social media scroll instead. So my advice is, if you want to get in great shape and stay in great shape in the long run, stop looking for novelty through variety. Instead, look for it through refinement and mastery of the essentials. That's what's going to produce the best results possible in the long run. The mindset you basically want to have, even after 2 years of, let's say, doing planks, you want to still be looking for ways to increase muscle tension, to perfect technique, and of course moving on to always more advanced variations, once you feel that you've achieved true mastery of the basic form of an exercise. So don't just go through the motions. If you're doing pull-ups, don't just pull yourself up. Focus again on refining your form, increasing mind-to-muscle connection, keeping those elbows tucked, squeezing your lats at the top, making each pull-up more and more challenging by getting the chest closer to the bar. If you're doing push-ups or dips, don't just push yourself up. Focus on leaning more on your arms and less on your feet, keeping your shoulders rolled back and your chest out, even at the lowest point, when your shoulders want to roll in and make the range of motion shorter, squeezing that chest at the top, as we said in the previous videos. If you're doing a wall sit, keep your back flat. Push the wall back through the heel as if you're trying to tip it over. If you're sprinting, don't just run with your feet, run with your arms, your core, and stop trying to make each exercise easier just to get more reps in order to pump your ego. Instead of trying to make each repetition easier, try to make it more difficult, or as I like to say, stop counting reps and make each repetition count. So that was all for today. I hope this video makes sense. If you have any questions, leave them below in the comment section. I'll make a part 2 probably of this video as well, since I want to cover what are the essentials, what are the jeans and t-shirts of calisthenics that you want to focus on, that you want to make a long-term commitment with. And anything else that is interesting, leave it in the comment section, and maybe I'll include that as well in part 2. And until next time, keep on training.